Thank you. That wonderful view of the newly installed ball plinth here at Darcy Street. We welcome you back for season 2018. The off-season, they seem to be getting shorter and shorter, Funty, and we're back again for another year with a big game here this evening. South Hobart taking on Hume City from the MPL Victoria. It should be a very entertaining affair, even if there isn't so much at stake. What are you expecting from this one, Paul?
Well, thank you for the welcome again. I wasn't expecting to be here in sunny January. First time I've been to Darcy Street in shirt and shorts in a long time.
Yeah,
I'm expecting a lot of sweat compared to the matches we see here in the cold depths of winter. I'm expecting Hume City to be a bit fitter. I think that's going to be the main thing coming into the second half. I'm fully expecting South Hobart and Hume to be fairly even in the first half, given South Hobart's track record, especially against interstate opposition the last few years. As we see Hume City lining up for the customary team photo. Even in pre-season matches, you need one of them just to see who's there. Look at that star man in the middle, Nick Grunwald. Good to see him back in Tasmania already, despite moving interstate.
He couldn't stay away, so Nicky Grunwald, very familiar to our Tasmanian viewers, no doubt. The rest, some very foreign names, a very young side. Speaking to the coach, the playing coach of the team today, only 2 players under the age of 25 in there, so a very young bunch. They're a very sizable team though, looking at them, very physically imposing. And watching them train this morning, they move the ball around pretty sharply. It should be a pretty good test for the hosts, South Hobart, who, as we mentioned, probably they'd be the most advanced of any Tasmanian team on their pre-season, that's for sure. But given that our season starts mid-March, it'll still be a bit behind where you'd expect Hume City to be. They're really dialling things up as they get close to the start of their season. And we'll have a look at the South Hobart lineup that will take on Hume here this evening. And plenty of familiar names in that lineup. A very young side, but we'll start in net with Kieran Brown. Made that position his own last year. Really, I thought was probably a bit unfortunate to get the Young Player of the Year for mine. I thought he was outstanding, Kieran Brown, in net for them. Connor Schmidt at fullback with Liam Quayle's departure. There's suddenly that opening for him to really nail down a fullback spot that he probably would have had at any other club over the last few years. And Adam Gorry, what a star down the right flank he was last year, top 5 in the Players Player, and had a phenomenal season. Luke Farrell, the Frenchman, very experienced customer, and he'll slot in alongside Hugh Ludford in the centre of defence to start off with. I'd have thought, with no Dan Brown in that lineup, or Oscar Thomas. Certainly, oh yep, there's Dan Brown. We've gone by numbers. Thank you for that, Fronty. I'm off to a good start, 2018. Really flying here, so I reckon Farrell maybe in midfield then with Morton and Kemp.
I reckon he's taken that second holding midfield
Jack Turner.
The Jack Turner role that we had from last year, another one of their outs.
Defected, of course, to Olympia. There might be 1 or 2 more who Olympia trying to pry away, but Kenny Morton does a phenomenal job keeping hold of his players, so I reckon most of this squad good to go. Number 9, Darcy Hall, and 10, Alex Walter. They'll be pacey down the wing. Someone who I'm really looking forward to seeing this year, number 14, Jacob Brennan. He's teased with cameos off the bench the past couple of seasons, and Ken Morton talking very excitedly about him. This could be the season that he really breaks out, much in the way that perhaps Alex Walter did last year. And on the bench, plenty of youth there, and a big name signing in number 6, O'Dane Damar. Interesting to see how he slots into the South Hobart squad. Ryan Cook, Antonio Saraceno, Keenan Dowse and Isaac DeGhetto, the other options. So plenty of alternates there. Should Morton want to shuffle his deck, and you'd imagine in a friendly he will.
It's certainly a very solid starting 11. Names we're very used to here at Slice of Cheese, and any MPL Tas followers will surely seen any of them in action last season. I mean, with the exception of Jacob Brennan, they were all at least in the starting 16 last season. Just on the bench there, O'Dane Damar, who scored that wonderful free kick and celebration here at Darcy Street last year. I feel like that might be one of the reasons he signed for South Hobart, so he doesn't get that again. And then Keenan Deuce, who I believe used to be at Devonport a few years ago before heading overseas and now coming back to Tasmania. I'll be very interested in seeing him as we'll look at the Hume City team. And I'm going to let you have a go at this one, Coolick. No, you're palming it off.
I absolutely thought you might want to run through that one, given that I did South.
Okay, fair enough.
Knock yourself out, Funty.
Well, let's give this a go. Until Offley, number 10, Benjamin Lividikos, number 7, Urson Kaya, Blair Govan. Oh, Nicholas Grunwald, there's one I know, even though it did take me about 10 weeks last year to get my tongue around it. Joseph Conyet, and the goalkeeper, I'm assuming, Michael Weira. Nick Hegarty, who I believe's player coach, correct. Jackson Morgan, Gideon Sweet, and Zachary Secunda. I'm hoping they're in some form of relative order to where they're going to be positioned on the field, otherwise I've no idea where 39 normally is. On the bench, Karl Barasiewicz, Hayden Tennant, Olivia Kubalai, Mitchell Trajitsky and Andrew Pawiak. That'll do.
We'll run with it.
I tell you what, we're going to have to think of some nicknames very quickly here.
Well, Leviticus, straight out of the Bible right there, number 7. And I'm sure we'll annoy you all with some ludicrous nicknames as we go. As Stratos Ploritis, Josh McInerney, I think it is out there, and Britton Copper, our 3 officials today.
Very experienced referees out here. I've noticed we've had some good amount of referees for these pre-season games here. I think Copper was doing the Zebras South Hobart game last weekend, and South Hobart train here this morning. Cool.
Wellesley, I think.
Wellesley, using South Hobart's training ground, keeping Darcy Street in prime conditions. Had a bit of wear and tear this summer by the look of it.
A little bit. There's some patches that look like a golf green, and others that seem slightly more freshly laid, perhaps. No real wind advantage to either end, and you think conditions are pretty good for football. A nice cool breeze coming over the place now. It's a bit warm earlier in the day, or given where Hume are hailing from, probably not all that warm for them.
I was thinking that as I was on the drive up here today. I'm thankful they will be to here rather than 41 degrees if it was their home ground.
Yeah, I was having a chat with Colonel Sanders, who just tactically got himself out the day before the 41 degrees. He'll be in action for Zebras, of course, tomorrow, the second of these 2 friendlies against Hume City. Hobart Zebras will take their shot tomorrow at 5, but first up, it is the host, South Hobart. Big Dogger Brown, fresh from replacing me in goals in futsal. Now he's got a bigger task of just stabilising this defence for
no mean feat. You are a very experienced futsal keeper.
I'm certainly expecting a test for the South Hobart Central defence here. They were very sharp this morning, Hume City, at a training session. And we'll both obviously be very upfront. We know very little about this team at all, except the big number 4 in the middle of the defence there, Nick Grunwald. Seems to be settling in nicely. It looks like the player coach figured he's just going to slide himself in the middle to dictate things.
Yeah, well, it's pre-season for the players as well. It's also pre-season for us commentators, so apologies all our Victorian listeners. This will not be the finest 90 minutes of commentary you'll have all year, but we shall keep on going here at the Theatre of Dreams, Darcy Street, and we are off. And South Hobart looking to play directly down the line to Alex Walter, and very well cleared there rather early by the Hume City player who refuses to turn around so I can gauge his number.
Listen, Kai, I reckon that one. The number 2 actually playing it right back. We like that as this one's carried into the midfield and worked away there to Jackson Morgan. Got to be sceptical of a man with 2 first names, but a tidy first involvement from him, and Hume will knock it back to their keeper, Weira. He thumps in the middle, and there is in fact a bit of wind starting to lift now. In the last 5 minutes, it's really getting up. So South Hobart will have it at their backs early, and Adam Gorry's just put a bit too much mustard on that one for Brennan to chase onto. A goal kick, and we saw this end last year a number of times being the dominant goal scoring end.
Yeah, the wind certainly does tend to push from right to left as you're looking at it on your screen. Also leads to a fair few overhit crosses, so we'll see how both teams adjust to that this season, with Michael Weira looking to play it short. His fullback receives it back, and Morton going to look to pressure, so he has to hit this long. Not used to seeing this level of composure with the goalkeeper in NPL Taz. Weira looks diagonally down the line to Leviticus. Passes it back to the right back, and the Chicago kid, Nick Grunwald. Very good to see him on the pitch. Plenty of time for the keeper here. Neither Morton not getting there very quickly and forced the overhit cross there. Good pressure there from Morton, pushing up. Seems to be playing more of a number 10 role at the moment rather than the kind of fluid 3-man midfield they had last year. And Hume will look to break through the player coach Haggerty. Goes for the inside ball in between Dogger Brown and Adam Gorry, and Dogger scoops that one clear for a throw in. And just looking at the linesman's flag there, it is a bit breezy out there.
Yeah, it was dead 10 minutes ago. It's really picked up here just in time for kick-off. How convenient. In a pretty flawless day down here otherwise. But now the microscope's on Tassie. We're going to reveal
just live up to all the stereotypes once the camera's on.
Yeah, I thought the Batuta advocate nailed us this morning with Tassie almost hitting 30. He's just bustling away through there, and that'll be a free kick away Hume City, and Jackson Morgan looking to make things happen, driving at this. I thought the Batuta advocate nailed us this morning with Tassie almost hitting 30. He's just bustling away through there, Dogger Brown, as he usually does when he's beaten Hume City.
As soon as you turn Dogger Brown, there's usually a leg sticking out. He doesn't like letting you get past under any circumstance, and a good free kick opportunity here, probably a little far out for a direct shot on goal. Not that I have any idea what Hume's free kick takers are like.
Well, I've got one idea of one of them. Big Nicky G, who scored one from in one of their lead-up games, I think. Curled one top window. So, far up him. This one's smashed in. Oh, no, the keeper's left the window wide open. An error in judgment from Kieran Brown and punished by the fullback, Urson Kaya. He saw the keeper miles off his line and said, I'll just poke that one home.
Yeah, it's very, very good homework there from you, Andrew Cooling, spotting the free kick taker. There was a rather large gap there. Kieran Brown was almost complete other side of the goalpost there and managed to curl it round the wall, and once you curled it round the wall with such a gap there, it's very hard to get back to save that one. It's going to chalk that up as both good awareness from the free kick taker and a little bit of a goalkeeping error there, I think.
Yeah, I think young Kieran Brown will probably rather start off 2018 in a different manner, but it's 1-0 Hume City. The goal scorer there, Urson Kaya, number 2, the fullback. As the keeper's off his line, now he's just going to shepherd it, and he's hit the deck there. In the end, it's going to be a free kick South Hobart's way, and it's a good call by the official.
And a good call from the left back of Hume City to pretty much stand on the ball to prevent a quick free kick there, as the keeper was nowhere near his line. Just confirmation there of Urson Kaya as the goal scorer from the free kick, but South Hobart looking to hit back immediately. Free kick taken in the near post, and that looks like it's blown out for a goal kick. Not something you can generally pay advantage for, so we'll go back to the keeper.
South will be happy with that result. Looking to transition quickly the other direction. Just perhaps a little bit shell-shocked there by that free kick at South. Maybe a little bit sloppy, but it's the time of year for that sort of thing, and I don't think I saw Kieran Brown make a mistake like that all of last season.
Oh, I don't think I did either. It's certainly one of the best keepers in the league last season, as we takes it out early, but flick on from the left back to no avail. I think that is number 3 Secunda out there at left back as well, so they're doing a very fine job here, Hume City, their defenders and the numbering.
Well, they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 across the back, so really enjoying their work, and I think a few of our local clubs could learn a thing or two from that.
Yeah, I'm sick of having 14s as centre-backs and any other number combination they can think of. Good block there by South Hobart. There was a few people in the South Hobart with that kind of short side, probably a number 1 on the side and number 4 up top there.
Yeah, I think a few of them have been to the same barber over the off-season looking at it. Don't think any of them are likely to take the crown from Tommy the Salad Bellini, though.
No, definitely not.
One of our favourites over here at Slice of Cheese. Really sets the bar high, as this one is going to be worked out and committed to playing out from the back. They've turned it over nicely here. Well done, Kobe Kemp. Scrapping away in midfield. Luke Farrell now heads it down for Morton. Back to the Warhorse Ludford, who chips it wide. Setting out after that one is Walter. He's really channeling a bit of Gareth Bale too. We're getting a look at the new salads of the boys for the first time this year.
Yeah, they've certainly all spent a lot of time in the barbershop in the off-season of South Hobart boys, and really had a bit more free recreational time on their hands as Kaya plays a ball that we're not used to seeing in NPL Tasman, right across the box between 3 players. That's the slightly higher standard you get with these teams down here. Nice step over in there from Hume. Hegarty get beaten off the ball very quickly from Morton, who looks to play a chip through ball. Grunwald over to Mark, back to Morton. There's 2 in the box here, and not quite there for South Hobart. Looks scrappy last few minutes here. I think Hume just want to try and get their foot on the ball, and they'll want to do that through the goal scorer, Kaya. Just trying to think to go to Leviticus down on the line, no luck. Plays it back centrally to Govan, or Govan.
You can see what their philosophy is. Keep a hold of the ball at all costs, building from the back. in tough conditions to do that, but they're very much committed.
I mean, if you can do it on a windy Friday evening at Darcy Street, I reckon you'd be in pretty good form for the rest of the NPL Victoria season.
Oh, but can they do it on a cold, wet night at Wentworth Park, Fronty? That's the question.
Nothing. Got absolutely nothing on the Junjun. All down at the Tropicana on a Saturday night.
Tugger Brown across to Adam Gorry. What a season he had, and he chips this one down the line for Darcy Hall, lining up as a strikeout tonight. Maybe not his natural position, but Hamlet departing and Lazinski not there. He leads the line. It'll be interesting to see how Morton, I suppose, rotates through that forward group this year. He's got so many options at his disposal, fitting them all into three up top. He usually likes the 4-3-3. It's going to be a tough task for him this season. He's
going to want to hope for a fit Lazinski all season. As Ken Morton, particularly as their striking depth last year, often commented that looks like in the back from Dogger Brown, and certainly given there from Stratos. Back to the Chicago kid Grunwald. Bursting through the middle, looking for the through ball. Here's the player coach. For the early ball, no foul given on Dogger Brown after the release. He was certainly looking for it. The tangent I was going on there with South Hobart was just a few of their attacking options gone from having a lot of depth to a seemingly huge amount of depth with departure of Hamlet and another attacker on the wing, Connor Cass departing.
Yeah, the thing is with South Hobart though, you know there's just 6 or 7 like elite 17-year-olds who are just going to come in, and speaking of, here's a chance for Darcy Hall. Great block there. The centre back Govan across, body on the line, but it just opened up for a fraction there. Now back the other way comes Conyet. Works it forward, slightly sloppy touch that though from the number 10 there, Alita Offley. This one's worked in the Darcy Hall direction. It's broken open. He's got Morton in the middle. He can't fight picking out, just eluded him. And now Walter was allowed to get to it, just allowed to run there by Kaya. Walter, that's poor end product in the end there for the youngster. Needed a better ball.
Those kind of through balls that you usually see in the pre-season, just not quite that timing between Hall and Morton. Morton known for those bursting runs from number 10, bit more of a box-to-box midfielder, likes to get up and down the park. He's got a really good engine as the Morthog. And beaten out there by Secunda into the player coach Haggerty. Gonna look for the crossfield ball here. Leviticus has been standing out here on his own for about 10 minutes. He's going to catch a cold soon, I think.
He's been heavily involved.
And the Warhorse being involved. That looked a tad offside and eventually called. Once it was realised, the only one who's going to get within a ball's roar of that is the South Hobart player.
Yep. Look at the goal again, just catching the keeper off his guard. A soft one there to get the ball rolling here this evening. 1-0 Hume City, but since then South have responded positively. They're going to press them here as Grunwald gets in a little bit of trouble. Morton really doing a good job putting pressure on the central defenders early. That's a lovely little nutmeg pass there from the goal scorer. Into the middle they go. This is where perhaps it's breaking down a little at the moment for Hume. Chance though. Brown harrying around, and South doing a really good job denying them space in the midfield.
The press has been very good by South Hobart in the midfield there with Kobe Kemp, and actually Haggerty is playing that real deep lying role in there. Going up pressure again. Just team to take one there from Morton and the Achilles afterwards. Gets up and plays the ball wide to Secunda. Return ball against lovely interplay on the wing. There's 2 up for Hume. Looks to take on the Warhorse. Brown and beaten, and just also beats the far post there. Wonderful play from the winger for Hume City there. Unfortunately, did not manage to turn around through the entire process once again. So
drove wide there of the defender. Brown seemed to have his angles covered, the young keeper. Quickly gets them restarted here. The Frenchman, Viral TV, across to Ludford. Now Connor Schmidt, who finally will be able to lock down that fullback slot this year, you'd imagine. Brown to his partner in crime, the experienced defensive unit. Ludford goes looking with a searching ball for Schmidt. That's broken up though. A chance there Leviticus, but Morton now again locked away there. It'll spill down for a throw in advanced position. It was Joseph Cognet getting the foot in, and a pretty compact unit in defence.
So we have a look at that exceptionally long range shot from Morton again. Probably more notable for the spin on it. Would have probably yelled a bit of nice Gary after hitting that one.
Real ripper. But no, didn't mind it from Morton. The wind at his back. A long shot, a good option as Darcy Hall looks to make some inroads and wins himself a corner. Quickly taken to Gorry, catches him a bit unaware here, and Gorry just overhits it to the back post. Morton again dueling out here with Urson Kaya. That's been a fantastic duel, that one. As Jackson Morgan lofts it forward. Adam Gorry, who just delivered that cross, had got back though.
One thing we're not used to seeing in NPL Taz is step overs on your own goal line. Very nicely done from Urson Kaya, who outside of the goal has been thoroughly impressive down this side of the hall. Darcy Hall and just picks it up, plays inside to
Brennan,
who's laying it back. Alex Walter in all kinds of space. Wonderful goal on the back post there from Gareth Bale. Alex Walter. That is a fantastic finish to put South Hobart back on equal terms. Lovely play from Brennan on the right wing, and cool finish from Alex Walter.
It's a delightful ball, but an even better finish. Alex Walter responds for South. That is the textbook diving header right there. Greenwald goes down, it spills the way of Brennan. He slides it back, and what a delightful little chip this is from Kemp. And Alex Walter, that is how you finish. And the man we were just praising there in the Urson Kaya, perhaps just a little sloppy in his marking. And look at this for a setup. This is extraordinary. Everybody pushed right up the field here for Hume.
It's very much a 93rd minute going for the Juggler FA Cup tie type formation from the kickoff there.
Jeez.
He's going to get a nosebleed if he goes any further, the keeper, and he looks for Leviticus again, who I still don't think has had a touch in the last 10 minutes.
No, he's tough flank, I think, today. The wind won't make things easy playing in that corner. Yeah,
it's going to hold up pretty much all day as Kaya gets on the ball. He's it back to Grunwald. He's going to look to switch the play to his centre-back partner, Blair Govan, who's to Cognet. Certainly looking to keep the ball here, probably under the instructions of the player coach Hegarty. Seems to be instruction at all times, which is what you like to see at pre-season. That looks slightly underhit from the keeper there, but they managed to do well, and Grunwald's just turned around to say the exact same thing to the keeper.
I don't think he was done any favours there, but South are just waiting on those short passes. They know exactly what Hume City are trying to do, and they're really disrupting them quite nicely. Whether they can do it over a full 90, we did mention the fitness of the two teams could be a question mark, as we see now the player coach look to work this one in the middle. That's a lovely little pass in to Jackson Morgan, and chipped over the top, but there's nobody there. The striker had just nicked back into the middle there in Offley. Now Adam Gorry. South need to maximise the wind at their backs in this first half. They fought back after that sloppy error, make it 1-1, and they push on their advantage here. Take the lead. Schmidt thought about making a run. South, like Hume, content to knock it around the back, and Brown just gets there. It was slightly underhit that one.
And managed to get a good bit of distance on it though. No shank in sight, but South Hobart maybe getting slightly a bit too confident there. Dennis didn't really have any other options to go to other than the thump it clear, and the goal scorer for Hume, Urson Kaya, will look to throw it back in again, back to the keeper, who's immediately pressured, and that's very nicely done. Grunwald has a very small, tight window to get through there. He's going to look for the flick as Darcy Hall, and thinks twice. Alex Walter looks to hit it into the middle, and well cleared from the coach. Now manages to receive it again. Miscommunication out on the wing, and again, opportunity with the left back bombing on. And just a bit slow in transition there, Hume City. Gorry beaten to it, but the warhorse Hugh Ludford is there to pick up. Brown with the thumping clearance that's just going to hold up in the sky. And surely they'll be looking to get it on the deck as soon as possible, South Hobart. And then again, a chip through ball into the wind. Not going to get too much with that today, I don't think, Colin.
I would have thought so, but certainly there is a little bit of space in behind, so I can see why they might be looking to explore it. The defence really push up the field once they have got the ball into the middle, but it's been coming back the other way with some promises. This one is again shut down. Walter looks to jump on it. Player coach might get a hold of that one, and Walter drives it to Darcy Hall. Darcy Hall gets his head up and looks to run across. That was a poor pass from Darcy Hall there in the end, easily broken up. Brennan left floundering wide as the fullback, Kaya, rolls it out here to Leviticus. Oh, that's a dreadful pass there, and Morton senses the keeper off his line and tried his luck, but didn't make the sweetest of contact.
A bit of a slice there from the Morthog. I think you'd expect this time of season. Grimold comes short to pick up the ball from the keeper. Immediate press there from Feral TV, does well, and Brennan get it. Kemp, good interplay, out to Darcy Hall, who's got it on his right peg, shoots, and good save from the keeper who stood tall. Darcy Hall going for the in-between the legs trick, and did well there, the keeper, just to flick it out for a corner.
Again, the passing out from the back, it's a turnover, this time from Grunwald. Jumped on by Brennan, slid it through. It's just some lovely work from Kemp and Morton. Flowing football South Hobart love to play. The corner swung into the mixer. Will be dealt with. There it goes. And now Schmidt up against Leviticus, who looks to turn him. A fistful of shirt there from Connor Schmidt. The advantage was played, and they really make the most of that one. South will look to turn and back under pressure. Doing well at the moment, South Hobart. It's been, in many respects, a very typical opening first 20 minutes of a pre-season game. A few more errors than I'm sure either coach would like to see. It's the time of year to be committing them, I suppose. Yeah,
and the last error for Hume City was an official call for all the subs to get up and warm up. So just letting the players on the field know. Is it interchange today?
It's a very good question. I don't think so.
Okay, fair enough. So. And ball's played down the line. Grunwald v Morthog, back to the keeper, and he's nearly there. Darcy Hall, it's a shank. Grunwald managed to coolly head that back into the box where the keeper can claim. Again, that short passing out from the back for Hume City. Coach Morton has certainly seen that as somewhere to exploit, and he look to build forward. Get back to Hegarty. Yeah, he's probably used to a few cold and windy evenings from the UK. Looks to play it back into the centre to Conyet. Joe plays it back to Hegarty. He's going to look to go down the line. Plays it short in the direction of Sweet. Won by Kemp, who can now break down the sideline. Morton's making a fantastic run in the middle. Cuts inside. And looks to play that ball and just rifles it straight into the chest of Kaya.
Another good runner being made by Alex Walter, is back the other way. Lucas trying to get going. Now Connor Schmidt. Lovely little run, and then a nutmeg which releases the Morthog Morton. He looks up, and Grunwald blocks his path. Another corner. And South Hobart firmly on top at the moment, with the caveat, of course, being there's fairly howling wind behind the mouse. Started off as a light breeze, and it's just getting stronger and stronger.
Yeah, got a bit arrogant and didn't bring the jacket today up here into the grandstand, and that was a mistake. They but there were some potato cakes in the canteen for half time.
Oh, they will. They don't disappoint at Darcy Street. Love the work they do behind the goals there. Some of our favourites. Always a treat to come to this ground and watch a football game. Michael Edwards just chilling in the background there. FFTTD casting his eye over proceedings as Morton swings this one near post, a wrestling match, and then headed off the line. Still might sit for Brennan. Back for Darcy Hall. Great save from the keeper. Here it gets down and carves it out. Somehow they survive off the line, and then a good stop from the goalie there.
Yeah, it was hard to determine what was going on with the wrestling match at the near post. Eventually fell quite well to the Morthog, who again is sitting in that Paul Sculls area 30 yards outside the box, which is a very good clearing header as well off the line at the back post, and we'll see South Hobart makes a live play go near post again. Easily cleared from Govan. Back in from Gorry, goes near post, bit of a shirt tuck there. Grimwald on Morton, but just enough to get away with it. Kaya looking for options short, eventually finds Leviticus, he goes back to the keeper. And that's a curler that's going to end up at the left back eventually. Out wide, with a few players running forward here. For Hume, they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 streaming forward, and that's good covering defence there from Loic for LTV. Kaya, whose name we've called the most so far here today at Darcy Street. Walter plays it to the Warhorse. It's going to Dogger Brown. 2 centre-backs very much out of position for South Hobart. Good covering defence from Brennan. Plays it back to Gorry. Just keeping the ball nicely in their own half, South Hobart. As soon as I say that, here Ludford passes it to absolutely no one in particular.
Yeah, the commentator's curse there is this man's also been busy. Joseph Conyett in the midfield, everything seems to be flowing through him or the goalkeeper. It's either hit him with a short pass or retreat back to the keeper. Seems to be the options from the defenders, and Gronwald opting for the latter and just to get a little out of ideas at the moment. Hume, they're perhaps breaking through the South Hobart side as we might have expected, although it's tough for them playing into this wind. Here's Adam Gorry, but South Hobart will be delighted with this start. Obviously, the goal pretty much just came off a broken play, mistake from a set piece. Apart from that, I think Morton would be delighted with the way they've negated Hume and stopped them really creating anything of note. Yeah,
absolutely, and the goalkeeper there, not sure if that was deliberate, but just about took the head off Mrs. Morton then, doing some delightful camera work for South Hobart. There was no one else in the area. Brennan back to Gorry, who hasn't got a whole lot of options, so he's going to do a Hume City and pass it all the way back to his keeper. South Hobart very much about a 5-0-5 formation going at the moment, so it's either going to go short or long. Dogger Brown at right back is the next option. Gorry trying to play a through ball into Morton. Keeper's going to try and run that out, and that's only just inside the 18-yard box there. On Weira.
Grunwald plays it out. They go to the fullback who goes for Grunwald. Lovely little turn. Morton slides down from behind. He got the ball, but he got just enough of the man to justify it. The Mitzi medalist just taking a big tumble.
I was enjoying the partisan calls for handball from up here in the grandstand. Conyett tries to play it forward. Again, effectively cleared from South Hobart. Bit of pinball going on in the middle. Dogger Brown's in the centre circle against that man Conyett and manages put that really decent sized frame in between there and win the soft free kick.
Very soft free kick, but it's a free kick. He drew the contact, just slid on in there and goes down. Does the job for his team. Now he saunters forward. It'll be a likely target for Kobe Kemp. The defensive line sitting up pretty high. Kemp opting to just knock it across to Gorry to change the angle into Darcy Hall, who's an outlet for so many of those balls. From the right, here he goes, curling it in, keeper comfortably deals with that, and he wants a quick release. Eventually gets it, and again they take it right into the middle, and again they run into a little bit of trouble. They've done this 5 or 6 times now. They've kind of released the early pass slightly out wide and gone straight back into the corridor, and so West South Hobart have got plenty of traffic.
Yeah, they're certainly known in the NPL Tas for clogging the midfield, South Hobart. It's one of the ways they've been so dominant down here the last few years. It's just so hard to play through them. Hume City are doing their level best to do that. It's a clearance from Weira, but Hegarty manages to take it off the feet of Gorry. 3 runners forward. Hegarty plays a nice 1-2. Dogger Brown can't quite get there, but his namesake Brown does. He throws it out to Alex Walters, but immediately closed down from Kai Schmidt, just slightly overhit. Walters going to have to come back and cover. Hegarty with a lovely another little nutmeg shoot. Brown with the save. Another shot. Fantastic double save from Brown. I think that more than certainly atones for the earlier error on the first goal.
Yeah, great keeping here. Hegarty seizing upon it. He gets around Luke Farrell and smashes this one across the face. It's a good stop, one he has to make. That's the second one. He gets back up, entirely unmarked there, the winger. And it's a fantastic piece of keeping. They flirt with the short corner here. It's swung in and clawed away there by Brown. Finds Walter, knocks it forward for Mort. For Darcy, or rather, now Walter bursting through the middle. He's just overhit it. They were 3-on-2 development. Well covered by the captain there. That wasn't far away.
A lung-busting captain's run there in retreat from Govan. He's done very well there, and that's surely a foul. Well, Secunda there from young Brennan. Finally a bit of a stoppage in play after 28 minutes here at Darcy Street. And the Chicago kid to play a long crossfield ball. And Gorry just had to move his position slightly there because of the wind. Morgan beaten off it from Loic Farrell. Certainly looks like he's being a like-for-like replacement for Jack Turner in the centre mid.
Big fan of the Frenchman. I'm not sure he's quite got the same goal threat that Jack Turner carried, but you can imagine he'll sit deep and it might allow Kobe Kemp to get a little bit more involved in an attacking role this year.
Yeah, we saw Kemp sit the deepest of the midfield three last year. I wouldn't be surprised if Farrell ends up sitting the deepest this year, if indeed they don't get anyone else new into centre mid. You never know. It's surely a foul from the aforementioned Farrell TV.
I reckon with Damara in the squad, we might see a back three at times as well from Ken Morton this year. Ludford and Brown and Thomas, so I think we might see that. So they might not need the defensive midfielder in there. They're going to go that way. It will be one of the many questions, but we'll look to see how Ken Morton answers over the pre-season. It's a pretty good selection headache he's got, having too many good players to fit into 11 positions. This one's going to be swung in by the player coach. Back post. Govan's there. The flag's up from the official. He spotted something there. Offside, perhaps?
Eagle-eyed offside there called by Brent Copra.
Yeah.
Not sure.
Referee of the year last year, just chuck him on the line. That was a rather blatant foul, that one there from Loic. He's just kicked him. He's going, nah.
There's zero argument there. He's just stuck a leg out.
That's the yeah, you passed me. I'm breaking you down. So here's Kobe Kemp out to Gorry.
Just with Hume City, whilst Hegarty's moving around, they do have a bit of a gap between midfield and defence, which I think South Hobart has looked to exploit. Skunda gets it up to Hegarty, and the flying winger Sweet goes for the cross in. Brown just gets there in time. Leviticus tries to back in over Connor Schmidt, and Schmidt does well to beat two Hume players and put it out for a throw in. Another good opening down the left-hand side from Hume City, and no mean feat when you're up against Adam Gorry to get such time and space down there. Again, the goal scorer, Kaya, there's a bit of a hospital ball into the middle there. Brennan comes across from wing to pick it up, and unfortunately just past Kobe Kemp.
Tell you what, Walter was storming down the left with acres of space in front of him there. If Kemp could have just got his foot on the ball. It's a little bit vulnerable back the other way to South Hobart counter-attacks, and Connor Schmidt now charging forward, rolls it into the path of Morton, but again, the impressive captain Govan across to cover. Walter scrapping with the Bible man, Leviticus, and draws a free kick there.
Well, due respect to the South Hobart crowd, I don't think yelling boo or the equivalent at Leviticus from up here in the grandstand is going to do much to put him off, which someone did just next to me here that made me laugh, so sorry if that came through the commentary box there.
They're a great crowd at South Hobart, perhaps slightly one-eyed might be the critique of them. Slightly.
Slightly, ever so slightly. Here at the Theatre of Dreams, we are getting everyone to push up. He's into defensive mid again. Nick Morton just covering the Chicago kid and trying to force him into a pass he doesn't want to make. And again, having one of the defenders with a back to goal. It's another hospital ball, and good recovery there from the keeper. And then belts it into Ginger Brown's outside coffee area down there on Macquarie Street. That has gone an absolute mile.
Come for one of their famous coffees and paninis. Come home with a soccer ball.
The new specials board at Ginger Brown tomorrow morning for all the cafe fans of South Hobart.
Again, getting into trouble coming out from the back here, aren't they?
And now they've sent the assistant coach and goalkeeper to go around to get it. I don't think we'll be seeing much of the monk anytime soon.
Big monkey's off. Wow. Surely there's got to be some kids in the park.
Surely.
They'll never see that again. As this one's crossed in near post. Dealt with again, only as far as Gorry. Quick release back to Brennan. Fakes the cross. He should have hit it first time in the end there, Brennan. Tried to bite off a bit more than he could chew. And Hume look to counter, and then that's going to be picked up with the wind and just take it back. So retreating again. Another one of those little inside passes. This one works out all right. And this is building quite promisingly for Hume. Fighting through the middle there was Conniet. Gorry gets his foot through it. Smashes it to the opposition keeper. So perhaps the crispness of some of these passing moves just a little bit lacking, which, as we've said, very understandable at this time of year.
Absolutely, and the return ball to the keeper that's probably the most played pass so far here. Hegarty beaten, stuck in the South Hobart sandwich. Brennan manages to get to it. Kemp eventually beaten out. Gorry plays it to Dogger Brown. Just stuck a little flat-footed there, Brennan, and Hume comes sliding forward. It's an advantage paid from Stratos. Morgan with a lovely inside ball and just gets there in time. The keeper over Offley, who's steaming forward. Good bravery there from the young keeper.
The best moves have all involved Jackson Morgan, Hume City. He's looked lively when he's been able to get his foot on the ball and drive at the defence. Almost unlocking them there, but the young keeper sharp off his line. Dogger Brown deals with this. Dumps it long. I think Kobe Kemp stayed onside here. It's an intelligent runner. He's got two to pick out in the box. He drives it back for the ball. Places over the bar. What a glorious chance that was for Nick Morton. We've seen him bury them time after time. You know, put your house on it. It just took a little bobble, in fairness to him.
Yeah, leaning back plus the bobble equals miles over the crossbar, but you would expect a player of the calibre of Nick Morton, as he has experience in Victoria as well, with South Melbourne there for a little while, and you'd expect him with his pedigree to at least get that on target. But alas, it is pre-season. Can't be too judgmental up here. Weir looks to pass it out and manages to hit it to the chest. That's probably going to be offside.
I'd hope that's offside. A very tiny finish. You'd be slightly worried if that one wasn't flagged, but
it was one of those calls that was so far offside, they'd be doubting whether it was offside or not.
Delighting the crowd with a beautiful finish. Where was that technique 30 seconds earlier? Some might question. Needed it to be a bit harder, perhaps.
Yeah. Put that away comfortably after being 30 yards offside.
Well, the Monkeys come back with the ball, so success.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that for a good another 5 minutes since the poor kick out. Well, they have decided to go long. Morton and Hall not quite on the same page. You'll get another chance. Will the keeper. It's all quiet on the Hume bench. Letting the players play in this pre-season game.
I suppose when you've got your coach out in the middle, that's probably the most vociferous of most coaching staffs taken care of. Does the assistant get, how much authority do you have if you've got the assistant in there? I don't know.
You can't really yell anything out. The coach might just say, shut up, not the right decision, as we see. Ever dangerous Jackson Morgan on the ball. Back to Hegarty. Looks to have a shot well closed down from Kobe Kemp. The spin on the ball is going to put that in the way. Love Leviticus. Connor Schmidt gets a toe in, forces him backwards, and still backwards, and still backwards. All the way back to the goalkeeper. Switches it out to Govan. Immediately pressured from Morton, who does well. And from one end to the other, it's gone from Hume City's D to their left back in about 10 seconds. So very good pressure there from South Hobart.
Yeah, some of these back passes just leaving a little bit to be decided from Hume. I reckon at this stage, they've probably got more players out the field who would have a one or two next to the chances created stat. Unfortunately, they've been mainly chances for South Hobart. There's some rather dicey passing at the back.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to play to the conditions down here in Tasmania, as much as we love good football, and that's exemplified by that turn from Darcy Hall. Lovely work there. Mortog's got Morgan all over him. Back to Gorry. Walter is out here at the back post again, but Curry's more likely to hit that one into the canteen than Alex Walter.
Yeah. Darcy Street's favourite ranger, not producing his finest work. Just overhitting that one. So we have another look at this Nick Morton volley. Delightful finish. Ever the showman. As we creep towards half time here, still 7.5 minutes to play.
Goalkeeper taking a lot longer than desired 7 seconds there, and as exemplified by the win there, Dogger Brown gets his head to it, lets it bounce, Govan with enough pace on the back header to the keeper. Rolls it central, Haggerty. And just to look out wide to Secunda, back to the player coach. Morgan had taken off his foot by 2 different South Hobart players, but there was a bit of an ankle tap in the middle of that there, so a bit of pressure relieved on Hume.
Good crowd here this evening in Paul. Just having a look around. Struck by a good few hundred in here for a pre-season game, which is always encouraging to see.
Absolutely, and already seen a lot of familiar faces in the Tasmanian football community. Has been since about September, October, since any meaningful action down here outside of the futsal field. So, an excuse for a Friday night catch-up as Alex Walter's in a fantastic position down this side. Managed to go on the keeper, and the penalty is called from start-off. Just aware it came out very quickly there, and Alex Walter was more than eager to take the contact.
I don't reckon he needs to make contact here.
I don't reckon he does either. I reckon Alex Walter's kicked that straight out of play.
We'll have a look. I reckon this is a horrible touch. Yep, too heavy.
That's way too heavy. But
he's done well. He's driven at the keeper. He sucked him in. He put that fear in the keeper. And a chance now for Kobe Kemp to give South Hobart the lead. Well done, Alex Walter, for winning it. He's caused some problems. He scored the opener with a fantastic diving header and picking up where he left off in 2017, Walter. Here's Kobe Kemp from the spot. Great save from the keeper. Gets down low, and Kobe Kemp just trying to roll in the corner. And when they do get saved, they never look terribly convincing, but there wasn't a lot of conviction in that strike, Funty.
No, that was about 2 miles an hour and at a perfect height for every goalkeeper. He redeems himself after giving away the penalty there. Kobe Kemp tries to place the 1-2. Just kept in from Brennan. Hits it off the backside of Secunda, who eventually gets it out for a throw-in. Yeah, fairly tame penalty there from Kobe Kemp. Really haven't had any of the after-training penalty practices too much this pre-season.
Going to roll it in the corner, which looks fine when you send the keeper the wrong way, but they dive down that side. It's a very comfortable save in the end.
Geez, Morgan's looked impressive as he gets on the ball again. A miscommunication there with the striker Offley. He just absolutely muscled the South Hobart player off the ball, and Conyett now in the centre looks for the chip through ball in that direction. Offley looks for the miracle touch, and Gorry ends up, after his heavy touch, just putting it out for a throw-in. As we tick 5 minutes to go in the first half of this pre-season game. Secunda up from left back. Takes it short to Morgan. Receives it back. Oh, the ever-reliable Conyett. Back to Grunwald. Back inside again to Conyett. Plays it out wide to the winger, who's going to go into the centre there for Offley, and Brown again comes out and punches and takes it off the header off the striker between Connor Schmidt. I think that came off his shoulder last despite his protests.
I think that's the right decision there by Brenton Copper. Hasn't missed too many. This one's to the player coach, who puts his head up and dinks one in there with a pitching wedge. Gorry gets across and nods it away towards Brennan. He's got some defensive work to do now, and he does it nicely, Jakey Brennan, and they've turned the defence into attack in the blink of an eye as the Morton rolls it through with a surging Alex Walter. Defender cracks back, Walter with a little bit of trickery, sends it one way then the other, and then the cross is blocked away, so the honours going to Ersin Kaya on that occasion. That's been a fascinating duel in this first 40 minutes.
Absolute.
Two of the most lively players on the pitch, I reckon.
Oh, I'd certainly agree with that. The goal scorer Kaya getting back very well as Connor Schmidt looks to the back post. Header clear from Secunda. Morgan now with not a huge amount of options there. Alex Walter Coming across as the second defender. Nice footwork. Connor Schmidt and Alex Walter. That's surely in the back from Walter. A bit unnecessary there. Didn't have to come through with so much force. As Hegarty now looks to switch the play. Hoping Sweet on the left wing there would be free. Instead it's just a bit overhit in that direction of Gideon Sweet. Brown clears it right to the feet of Brennan, who turns nicely. Dogger Brown now with the chip through ball, but unfortunately to no one in particular. Keeper elects to keep it in. And we'll probably see a nice 15-second keep of it here by the keeper.
Yeah, this penalty could be very costly for South Hobart. 2-1 in the wind of their backs, very different to a 1-1, especially purely speculating. We know South Hobart are going to be very fit, but not quite as far into the pre-season as their rivals here. So we'll see how that plays out in the second half. No doubt both teams will introduce some subs and try a few new things, but it's going to be tougher sledding for South in the second 45 with this wind. Here's the Morthog Morton, who's got Brandon unmarked in a lot of space. Can he pick him out? He can. What a ball. Brings it down and just recovered nicely. Did the coach.
Tell you what, it's a very good sliding tackle from the coach there. Both Kobe Kemp and Darcy Hall in the box waiting. Gorry again with a nice ball to Walter. It's just going to skid a little, but he's got plenty of time to turn and cross, which he does. And it's going to go right down the breadbasket of the goalkeeper. About 2 minutes left. There's a few tired legs out here, I'm noticing.
A few players lagging, aren't they?
It's getting a little lethargic, not necessarily in terms of tracking back, but just in that eagerness to push back out again once they've done that move, and that's going to certainly hold up in the wind, which Dogger Brown knows all about. But he says, have another go, keeper. It's pre-season. Charitable mood. Christmas was just around the corner.
And the Morthog was about 10 metres offside again.
A bit less offside than his goal from before, though.
That is true.
Sweet now. Just to get round Gorry, but can't quite beat the combination of Kemp and Brennan. Sounds like a good law firm, that, Kemp and Brennan.
Yeah, I'd hire them.
Jackson Morgan now in the centre of the pitch, who with two first names could also be a law firm. As Leviticus and Connor Schmidt now in a bit of a wrestling match. Connor Schmidt does very well to hold him off. Good second effort from the winner. Hegarty goes to the outside flick first time, and Gorry will clean that up every single time. Govan, I think Darcy Hall slightly offside. He needs to leave it. I think he's still technically interfering with play there, despite not touching it.
Yeah, it's a good goal. He's interfering. He's definitely offside here. Good decision from the linesman. South looking to race away in behind again. The Hume City attacking players will be quite glad to have a crack up the other end, and another dodgy back pass has him in trouble here. Morton, he hasn't got a lot of support. Darcy Hall, Morton in the middle, he won't pick him out. Morton still hustling away though. Rob Grunwald, and then fires a fizzing pass in towards Feral TV. He drives through, back again to Morton. Walter in space. Oh, well broken up again. Hegarty doing well.
Yeah, Alex Walter, certainly one of those left wingers who likes it on the right foot. And now Sweet bursting through the middle, got two either side, and just plays a nice casual pass to Hugh Ludford. He'll take that every single time. That's a chip through ball to Morton, who I think was a fair bit offside. Lira elects to play on, and Stratos, after a minute of stoppage time, calls half-time in this pre-season match between South Hobart and Hume City. 1-1 so far into the half. Fairly even contest, despite the wind certainly advantaging South Hobart this half, and Hume City are going straight to the sheds. We're looking a little lethargic in the last 5 minutes of that half, but what are your thoughts on that one, Colin? Pretty even contest, I thought.
I thought South probably were probably the better side, probably had a bit more of the attacking play, but you know, obviously it's a fair advantage going to that end. We'll see if they can keep it going in the second 45 minutes, but a typical pre-season game really. A bit of rustiness out there, passing not quite as crisp, but you can see what the teams are trying to do. There's been some very nice moments, some good 1-2s, a couple of lovely first-time passes, especially from Nick Morton and Kobe Kemp. And then Alex Walter, with his goal and winning the penalty, has just been that force on the wing that he was all of last season.
Yeah, seeing more of the same from Walter, and just a few of those newer starting players in South Hobart trying to gel. Likes of Schmidt and Brennan and Farrell getting a bit of a longer run. There's showing you some of the highlights of the first half. We're about to have the goal coming up here as well.
Yeah, you see what Brown's doing. He's just he's expecting the cross. He's going to come out. And he's going, all right then, I'll just cut one in the bottom window. He's expecting a little dink in for the header. I'll get in good position to claim this. The fullback says, oh, make you pay for that one, son. Boy, did he.
Yeah, he absolutely did. And with that, I think we'll let you out there watch the highlights of that first half. Few nutmegs, few shots on goal, and we'll return after some well-earned chicken medallions.
Oh, here's a chance for Darcy. Oh, great block there. The centre-back go over the...
This one's worked in the Darcy Hall direction. It's broken open. He's got Morton in the middle. He can't quite pick it out, just elude him. Now Walter and shovel Morton. Really doing a good job putting pressure on the central defenders. That's a lovely little nutmeg pass there from the goal scorer. In the middle they go.
Right, 2 Secunda, return ball against lovely interplay on the wing. There's 2 up for Hume. Looks to take on the Warhorse. Brown and beaten, and just also beats the far post there.
Schmidt, that's broken up though. Chance there. Leviticus, but Morton now. Again, locked away there.
And just picks it up, plays inside to Brennan, who's playing it back. Alex Baldry, Olcott space, diving header! Wonderful goal on the back post there from Gareth Bale. Alex Walter. That is a fantastic finish to put South Hobart back on equal terms. Lovely play.
A run. Like Hume, content to knock around the back, and Brown just gets there. To Leviticus. Oh, that's a dreadful pass there, and Morton senses the keeper off his line and tried his luck. But,
the keeper, immediate press there from Feral TV, does well, and Brennan get it. Kemp, good interplay, out to Darcy Hall, who's got on his right, Peck shoots, and good save from the keeper who stood tall. Darcy Hall go.
Back the other way, Lucas trying to get going. Now Connor Schmidt, lovely little run, and then a nutmeg which releases the Morthog Morton. He looks up and Greenwald blocks his path. Another corner seatings as Morton swings this one near post, a wrestling match there.
Keeper, immediate press there from Feral TV, does well, and Brennan get it. Kemp, good interplay, out to Darcy Hall, who's got on his right, Peck shoots, and good save from the keeper who stood tall. Darcy Hall go.
Back the other way, Lucas trying to get going. Now Connor Schmidt, lovely little run, and then a nutmeg which releases the Morthog Morton. He looks up and Greenwald blocks his path. Another corner seatings as Morton swings this one near post, a wrestling match. They've headed off the line, still might sit for Brennan. Back for Darcy Hall. Great save from the keeper.
Here's the next option. Gorry trying to play a through ball into Morton. Keeper's going to try and run that out, and that's only just inside the 18-yard.
Out. They go to the fullback who goes for Greenwald. Lovely little turn. Morton slides down from behind. He got the ball. Now, but for so many of those balls from the right, here he goes, curling it in. Keeper comfortably deals with that, and he wants a quick release.
3 runners forward. Haggerty plays a nice 1-2. Dogger Brown can't quite get there, but his namesake Brown does. He throws it out to Alex. Closed down from Kai Schmidt, just slightly overhit. Walter's going to have to come back and cover. Haggerty with a lovely another little nutmeg shoots. Oh. Brown with the save. Another shot. A fantastic double save from Brown. I think.
All the way there by Brown. Finds Walter, knocks it forward from Darcy Hall rather, and now Walter bursting through the middle. He's just overhit it. They were 3-on-2 developing. Well covered by the captain.
Indeed, they don't get anyone else new into centre mid. You never know. There's surely a foul from the aforementioned Feral TV. Good to gets it up to Haggerty, and the flying winger Sweet goes for the cross in. Brown just gets there in time. Leviticus tries to back in over Connor Schmidt, and Smith does well to beat two Hume players.
Walter scrapping with the Bible man, Leviticus. And draws it.
Again, having one of the defenders with a back to goal. It's another hospital goal and good recovery there from the keeper. Belts it into beaten out. Gorry plays it to Dogger Brown. Just stuck a little flat-footed there, Brennan, and Hume comes sliding forward. It's an advantage paid from Stratos. Morgan with a lovely inside ball and just gets there in time, the keeper.
It's an intelligent runner. He's got two to pick out in the box. He drives it back for the ball. Places over the bar. What a glorious chance that was.
Too judgmental up here. Weir looks to pass it out and manages to hit it to the chest. That's probably going to be offside.
I'd hope that's offside. I really
Outside of the futsal field, so excuse for a Friday night catch-up as Alex Wolf is in a fantastic position down this side. Manages to go on the keeper, and the penalty is called from Stratos. Weir came out very...
2017 Walter. Here's Kobe Kemp from the spot. Great save from the keeper. Gets down low and Kobe Kemp just trying to roll in the corner. And when they do get saved, they never look terribly convincing, but there wasn't.
To the winger who's going to go into the centre there. 4 off Liam Brown again comes out and punches and takes it off the header. Header off the striker. Between Connor Schmidt.
With this win, here's the Morthog Morton who's got Brandon unmarked in a lot of space. Can he pick him out? He can. What a ball. Brings it down and just recovered nicely. Did it the coach.
Tell you what, it's a very good sliding tackle, but he's got plenty of time to turn and cross, which he does. And it's going to go right down the breadbasket of the goalkeeper in about 2 minutes.
This one's smashed in. Oh no, the keeper's...
This one's smashed in. Oh no, the keeper's left the window wide open. Killed one top of the lead-up games, I think. Killed one top of that. So, far of him. This one's smashed in. Oh no, the keeper's left the window wide open. Punished by the fullback, Erson Kaya. He saw the keeper miles off his line and said, I'll just plug that one on. Yeah, it's a very, very good homework there from you, Andrew Cooling, spotting the free kick taker. There was a rather large gap there, Kieran Brown.
What we're trying to do is get the fullbacks also we're going towards it. You're just close. One half, the other goes
South Hobart probably controlled a fair bit of the first 45 on the back of it, and we'll see if things change here as Grunwald rolls one in the middle. And he's been dropping in those pockets of space all game. It's just been a little bit disjointed at times for Hume, but you can see what they're trying to do.
You certainly can. I mean, the cynics among us would say they're trying to play the goalkeeper, get his passing stats up as much as possible, but I think there is method to what they're trying to do here, trying to link it through Morgan and Hegarty through the centre, keep the wingers pretty high as it's a loose, pardon me, pass from Hegarty.
So what, the wind has somewhat conveniently dropped a little bit at the start of this half too.
It's almost like they've just set a fan up at one end, South Hobart. I wouldn't accuse them of anything like that, but it does seem slightly suspicious as Gavin plays it back to Michael Weira. I still have no idea if I'm pronouncing that right. It's not quite weird. I've chucked that extra E in.
Or is it a German? Is it Vera?
Vera?
I mean, I'm lost.
I'm completely lost.
These team sheets need a pronunciation guide, as we learnt last year. This one's swung wide here. Chipped into the middle. Going through again. Slightly high boot on this occasion, Nick Hegarty.
Even Dogger Brown was surprised at that. He smiled and then proceeded to start twisting his ankle as if he really got caught then. The experienced centre-back for South Hobart. Very, very convincing work there from the big man. Malta, who was one of the stars of the first half, out to Brennan, who leaves it for Gorry. Looks to go the loaf. Ball to the near post. The Mordhog didn't quite that there. Gorry wins the header. Brennan back to Feral TV. Again, Gorry, but Devonport's former favourite Ranger. Can't quite get on the end of that one. Dogger Brown back to Brennan, who's got the lively Morgan for company. So far on first glance, calling no subs, I don't think.
Wouldn't be able to tell you if the opposition had made one, to be fair, Funty, but South Hobart have definitely remained the same. As charging here is the Mordog Morton trying to dissect the defence. He's still carrying it, then slides it through for Darcy. Oh! Side netting only. There was the ripple. It's deflected behind.
It's a great save from the keeper. I think you had the pole in your way there, calling. I probably should have taken over there, but it's a lovely ball from the Mordhog. Just unfortunately, Darcy gets a little too close to the keeper and gets a solid palm onto that. Despite looking the other way, it's good keeping, just standing tall and knocking that one wide for a corner. Outside of Brown's initial mistake between the penalty save, his double save and that, it's been a pretty decent keeping performance here today at Darcy Street.
Yeah, you've got your keepers mixed up on this occasion though, Funzy.
I have.
Not Kieran Brown, but Vera or the artist known as W is in a bit of a shoving match here with Brennan at the moment. A chance for Loic Farrell to swing one into the back post, and the keeper's commanding. He collides with Dogger Brown, who comes off second best. So well done, keeper. Has a collision with the big fella, and he's the one who's worn it there, Dogger.
Yeah, very rare to see Dogger Brown be the last one of a collision to get up. Both eyes on the ball. Keeper clearly there first, but he has taken it off his head by about 3 centimetres, as we do have a first sub of the day. Time to get the team sheet out to see who number 6 is for Hume City.
Andrew Poriak?
Poriak.
The Paw. The Paw. The Paw has been introduced.
He certainly has. Coming off. 13 has come off, so the lively Joseph Cognet in the middle there, who certainly had plenty of touches in that first half. And the old interesting sub after 48 minutes without injury has been employed from Hegarty.
Yeah, probably less interesting pre-season. I thought there'd be a fair bit of that in this half. I reckon a fair few stoppages as this one's worked forward for Darcy Hall. He works it to Kobe Kemp, looks to switch the play, but it just curls back. Alex Walter fighting hard and keeps a hold of it. Eventually runs into trouble. Absolutely no support here for Offley, so he's going to have to go solo. He carves one towards the back post. His coach had made a long busting run, but he wasn't quite able to get on the end of it. Just held it up well, but didn't quite execute the cross. Good run there from the coach.
Yeah, good turn of pace there from the player coach. Certainly one of the more fitter player coaches I've ever seen trotting around here. As it goes out to the lively boots of Connor Schmidt, who plays a long ball down the line to Morton, manages to stay onside. Copper keeps the flag down. That's inside Secunda and looks towards the back post where Adam Gorey's pushed up from right back. Into Kemp, who just has the ball on the edge of the box, and Grunwald read him like a book there and storms forward. That was Grunwald Beckenbauer, and he's going to keep going with that run. He's the newly formed libero. Chinking inside now into Hegarty. Grunwald still standing in the 18-yard line and eventually gives up. Secunda now plays it inside. Now Hegarty again, he's got a player at the back post and no one else really in between. Morton deflects the cross, back to Secunda. Now
The Paw.
The Paw.
Poor pass, I thought, for a moment, but Walter wasn't quite able to chop it out. Just probing here at the moment, Hume. Something they didn't do a lot in the first half. Most of their good attacking moves were fairly swift end-to-end side plays, but they're knocking the ball around, trying to find a chink in the South Hobart armour. Grunwald, who we saw marauding forwards, no shortage of that last season. It's a real feature of his play and something I reckon that the Hume City supporters will get used to this year. He's a threat at both ends of the big Chicago kid. As Adam Gorey carries this one out of defence. Nick Morton, again, the early release looking to set Brennan away. Hume recover the ball and back they go to Blair Govan.
And Govan looks to switch the play. Connor Schmidt gets ahead in the way. Walter plays it forward to Kobe Kemp, who's unusually one of the furthest forward for South Hobart. Well cut out from the goal scorer, Erson Kaya. That's now over the head of Schmidt, but makes a very good recovering challenge. Getting up a little gingerly, the Hume City player. Kaya now looking to take the throw. South Hobart have got a player resting on the other side of the field there. He's just come into shot. It's just a bit of boot trouble.
Kobe Kemp,
for Kobe, yeah. Process of elimination. You got there half a second before me. It's a Chicago kid. Plays it forward into Morgan. Now Hegarty. Fortunately, just finds the foot of Dogger Brown. Get a chance to get there, but Loic Farrell bursting through to make the interception. Secunda now back to Govan. Now the Paul. Good one too with the coach, and goes for the look-away pass to Offley, who's still made a lung-busting run and nearly gets there. Takes it off the toe of Brown. Good flick header from Kemp, who's returned from his boot troubles. And the keeper plays it inside. Back to the centre-back Govan. Now Hegarty. He's probably going to end up back at the keeper eventually, and does. Trying to look for the switch of play. He's got Morgan and Kaya very well pushed up on the right. Trying to lure Morton in. Actually thumps it a good distance forward, but Gorry can cut that out easily, and a slightly better pass there. Brennan could have been on his bike. Gorry's made one of his trademark forward runs. Dogger Brown wants a short pass. Goes to the Warhorse.
I don't know if there's a few tired bodies after that first 45, but the pace is noticeably slowed in this second half so far. There's Hugh Ludford, drives this one wide, looking for the overlapping Connor Schmidt, takes it down with a nice touch and then tried to pick out Darcy Hall, turned it over to the Paul though, and he works one which is cut out again by Kobe Kemp, just sitting in deep and breaking up the play nicely. Adam Gorry looking to combine with Morton. They did to tremendous effect on so many occasions last year. Morton getting it towards Darcy Hall, but he's dispossessed. It's good defensive play again from Hume at the back. They've lost it though. Loic Farrell into the dangerous waltz, trying to find Kemp. Again, they break it up and they look to fly back the other way now. A chance perhaps for Leviticus. He just dwells on it, and again, the patient build-up. Real tortoise and hare, opting for the tortoise type approach here today. They've been very patient, Hume City.
Yeah, not certainly in the second half, just looking to slow the pace down a bit and we just try and get their foot on the ball a little more. And Paul back to the keeper. Here's going to let that run. And eventually goes the scoop pass to his fullback Kyle. Walter gets there first though and puts it out for a throw in. And after a pretty well-paced first half, this first 10 minutes of the second half fading in pace, much like the light here at Darcy Street.
I was just wondering if they're going to find some solution. I don't think they would have factored that in earlier on. It's been a glorious sunny day and it's gotten very dark rather quickly.
Yeah, almost the need for some KGV-style lights here, which I don't think was expected early. You'd think 8 o'clock down here, you're pretty fine.
Well, if everyone in the crowd gets flashlight on their phones and points it at the pitch, it might help a little. But certainly
just a tad.
The lovely pictures brought to you by Byron Stream, not showing any of that. Clear picture for you folks back home, but we can confirm it is getting rather dark here. So 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock kickoff tomorrow. Wouldn't imagine it'll be an issue when the Zebras get their shot at Hume. So again, forced to retreat. It's Hugh Ludford here, hustling and bustling.
Wins the free kick
the
as
decision.
Well. As well there, and I'm assuming it was a 50-50 decision. I reckon Kaya just had a bit of a shirt pull there once Ludford had turned him round. And now trot back to his defensive position. South Hobart keeping 3 back for the set piece, although Luke Farrell's just decided to go for a trot up and put his big head in the way. Kemp over the free kick, goes near post, and the keeper just manages to keep a hold of it. Dogger Brown was keeping a foot in there just to keep him on his toes in case of a bobble, and if anything, draw the free kick. We're taking this from a goal kick position.
Some more action on the Hume City bench, and South Hobart 2 preparing a change. I think that's Ryan Cook who's going to be introduced.
I'd say you're about right there.
Started in the senior team last year for South Hobart. Faded out, I think he might have got injured, but wasn't in there so much as the year went on, but scored an absolute blooper early in the season, and he'll replace Jake Brennan. He's someone who could be a real breakout player this year, you feel?
Yeah, for those watching in Melbourne, South Hobart's Challenge League Reserves down here probably would have beaten a lot of the NPL Tas teams. They were absolutely stacked, top to bottom. Brennan, who you've seen today, I know Farrell had a fair few runs with them. And then the likes of Liam Scott, Castaneda. It was an absolutely stacked team at South, and Ludford does well to play that out to Gorry. Cook with the first touch is a nice one to Darcy Hall, who's put his boot fair through that. Kyer and the keeper just about deal with that. Cook again has a shot, and again another one that's closest to our esteemed camerawoman than the goals.
He had one thought on his mind the moment he received that ball. The keeper might not have got himself back. So we have a look at the replay here. This corner's been awarded. I thought it deflected off a South Hobart body, but we'll have a look on the replay. Cook absolutely blasting this one. Nah.
I don't think that's touched either of the Hume City players in the way, but there you go.
Greenwald certainly did his best to sell it if it didn't, but decision goes South's away, and it's going to be chipped in near post, away again by the right back, and will be take two. Kobe Kemp with another chance to swing one in. Can he get past Kaya at the near post on this occasion? And a little bit deeper this time gives the keeper something to think about. He fists it away, and now the player coach duelling with Darcy Hall. Kobe Kemp picks it back up, works it to the Mortog, dispossessed by the paw, and now threading it through. Kieran Brown's off his line here. He's collided with a Hume City player, and the referee might just issue a slice of cheese for that one, I think.
I'd find it very hard to believe not to issue a slice of cheese, even in a pre-season match. For that one, Kieran Brown has come miles off his line. And gone, here comes the boom on the side of the striker Offley, who's still down.
He's made the decision at that point. I'm nowhere near this ball. I better make sure he can't score. I'll just take him out. And surely at least a slice of cheese coming here for Kieran Brown. It wasn't a good challenge as we have a look. His foot to it. And just bang. More akin to a rugby game.
And I mean, that's left to one thing. We've now got the reserve goalkeeper, the Monk, warming up on the sideline, which is, I think, something we should endorse.
They can. Producers asking if we might not see yellow cards on the basis of being a pre-season fixture. Generally, they're a lot more reserved with them, but they will pull them out, and I've got to think.
There's the slice of cheese there from Stratos.
Yeah, I think you had to there. That was definitely a slice for young Kieran Brown.
He's having a polite chat with him. I'm not sure if that's saying I'd give you a red in a real game, or, well, in a non-pre-season game, I should say. And he's now going to go to Offley and give a handshake.
No hard feelings, which is good to see.
Disappointed the Monks had to sit back down and take the gloves off, though. Wasn't even on the team sheet as the reserve keeper, but you see Wilson whip that in. South Hobart going with the elaborate offside trap play from the free kick, and it was worked out rather all right with Kieran Brown collecting rather comfortably. Going out to Dogger Brown, immediately under pressure, and shows his experience. Ludford out to Schmidt. Plays it to Kemp, not quite on the same wavelength as Walter, well as Farrell, sorry. Hegarty with the 1-2, Schmidt back to the keeper. Left foot clearance from Kieran Brown, don't think that's his preferred foot. It's just demonstrated by that clearance. Offley finally getting some space down the line, thought about putting the flag up, did the linesman, but very nicely done from Schmidt. And then the old scoop pass from Hugh Ludford, bit dangerous doing that, 25 yards out.
Tell you what, we've seen a few nutmegs in this game.
Yeah, there's been a few of them. Fortunately, most of them have been down near us here in the grandstand, much to the amusement of the crowd. Again, playing out from the back.
And Kobe Kemp will look to pick this one up. Grunwald keeping him tight company. And Kemp looks up, and he's got Gorry bursting down the right, and he tries to pick him out, but just held up in the breeze. And back the other way come Hume, but again they've turned it over. Just a little sloppy in possession today, the Victorians. Follows through there, and a little bit unnecessary in the view of the official.
Yeah, I think certain foul there, especially as the ball went straight to Dogger Brown afterwards. Didn't raise a foot or anything, but just left it in there as South Hobart bearing a double change in front of us here.
Dane DeMar and Saraceno, I think, the two prepping to come on.
We've seen DeMar here in NPL Tas before. Know anything about Saraceno?
Very promising youngster, very bright future, Antonio Saraceno. He is definitely one of the hotter prospects they've got at the club as Morton rolls this one, draws several defenders, he gets back on it, spreads it wide for Gorry, making a customary run. He's slightly overcooked this one though. Yeah, two brothers, the Saracenos, I think. There's two of them, but Antonio, someone who Ken Morton has very high hopes for.
Rocking the hot pink boots, which is usually a sign of a young hot prospect. So we'll see how he goes there with Luke Farrell, the first to jog off the field.
And it's going to be Oliver Kubalay who is coming on here for Leviticus. Yeah.
Hugh Ludford off for DeMar. I think it's going to be a straight swap, I'd imagine.
Yep. DeMar, a central defender by trade, was used up top more by necessity than anything for Clarence a little bit last season when he could get on the pitch.
One of our favourite players from last year, Imran Pogba, Sir Vivian Richards-Lewis, very much excited to see DeMar on the field. He was calling for him from the start on today's broadcast. Morton now on the edge of the 18-yard box with three Hume players around him. Manages to get it to Gorry, deflected out for a corner. Some in the crowd saw the net ripple and got a bit excited, but that was certainly the side netting. Does well to draw three players, Morton, and then if you can kick out the ball, usually leads to a good open. Short corner and a bit of a shank clearance, but no harm, no foul for Hume. Awfully unafraid to put the foot in.
Tell you what, I've just realised Offley's name's Attila. Why have we not been calling him the Hun all game?
The Hun all game. So
the Hun leading the line here. That's an embarrassing miss from us, Funty. 65 minutes into this game, there's a bloke called Attila. Anyway, South Hobart on the ball here, and Morton has been heavily involved. This one's over the line, and another. No?
Goal kick given.
Goal kick. Thought they were getting another corner. Their appeals turned away on this occasion.
Had a couple of fortunate corners already, South Hobart. Maybe a bit of home ground advantage, but...
Bit of karmic justice on this occasion, perhaps?
I certainly think so, as Mira lays it to Kaya, back to the keeper. Now turns up and is back to the keeper. Hasn't really got too many other options out this side. Tries to find Secunda and does well on the near side. The new sub plays a lovely ball down the line for the captain coach, who manages to find Attila the Hun, but not quite. Slotted home. It was about an inch off his foot. Now Morgan looking to reload. Lays it that wide. Back to Kaya, who hits it right to the head of Dogger Brown. And good promising play there from Hume. Kubalai with a nice silky bit of skill. Hits the shot and just over the crossbar. Nice start there from the substitute.
What a way to introduce yourself. That would have been a lovely little bit of skill here. Takes it down, buys some space, with a deft little flick, and then got some serious power on it. Yeah, but Brown scrambling just over the top.
Saw Ronaldinho retire during the week. One of the moves he liked to whip out, especially during his time at Barca. Maybe a bit of a tribute there. As Kemp looks to play it forward to Gorry. Judges it well in the breeze. Manages to find the feet of Cook. Goes inside. Now Morton, who's only got one thing on his mind, and it was a bit of a bobbler. It can confuse the keeper, but Mira held his ground well.
Chicago kid out from the back, 1-1 the score, 67 minutes gone. And South Hobart probably just shading proceedings throughout as Darcy Hall looks to link up with Nick Morton, who loses his footing at the most inconvenient of moments, and Greenwald's able to take it away, and I hope Nick Morton's not done anything there. He's rolling around in the box. bit of pain, but if he was seriously injured, I'm not sure he'd be rolling all over his body like that. So might be a dislocated finger or something. He's grabbing his hand.
I was about to say, he's certainly got great range of movement in the midriff region as well as the knees, so not quite sure what's up with the Morthog there. Stratos.
Well, I just fancied a kip. I don't know, but he's
70th minute, so it's getting about that time, and the trainer's on the field for South. Leaving his arm very... Actually just looks quite uncomfortable for a kip, so...
Well, Matty Lancaster's come out and immediately suggested that the stretch is required, so... So what's wrong with the Morthog Morton here? We hope he's alright. Something with that arm. The rest of his body was really flailing around a bit, but that arm was remaining quite stationary. He's done something. I hope it's not a break.
Yeah, that wouldn't be very good. Looking at the elbow at the moment. Grunwald coming over to have a quick chat. And usually I'm not a big fan of when a trainer has to hold the arm in that kind of position. Looks in some pain, does the Morthog.
Yeah. Tough to speculate that arm or hand, something is causing him a fair bit of discomfort there. Nick Morton, he's in some serious pain, so he never liked to see that. And
I reckon your finger shout might be a good one there. Cooling was certainly ladling the arm as the trainer. We're just having a look at the sub, number 12 looking at coming on. So,
Isaac in the ghetto.
In the ghetto is Zach.
Former Launceston City player.
So a fair bit of him on the wing last season for Launceston City. I'm assuming someone will have to slot in centrally to replace Morton, but now back to live pitches. Hegarty has a shot and absolutely falcons Dr. Brown. He is absolutely down for the count. Very little sympathy from Hume or the referee there. That's one I'd certainly be down for hours after that. That got him right in the scone.
Yeah, it was a proper hit, that one. Very close range. He's copped it. He's back on his feet now. Big dog. That was DeGhetto to make some inroads. It's a lovely pass from DeGhetto. Releases Darcy Hall charging down the flank. The Chicago kid. Across to deal with it again, went for a nutmeg. A little bit too cute there, and now the chef, Ryan Cook, back to Walter. Didn't make good contact at all. He might get a second bite at it though. Spilled his way. Across to Schmidt. Walter jewelling in the middle there, well won, and Humer away now, the player coach. Hegarty looks to send him flying. It's a good little pass, this one. He then sends it wide down the right. Some good tempo to this build-up. Media cross, Gorry back in defence, and he did really well there, Adam Gorry, as Nick Morton down the lowest, and I'm afraid to say that looks from here like it might be a broken arm for Nick Morton. So that's a tough blow for the South Hobart star, and we wish him a speedy recovery as Adam Gorry threads it through for Cook. Ooh, clever move from Cook. And just overhit it. He put his foot through that one.
Just overhit it.
He pulled out the driver in the sand pot near the green there, I think. Just near the pitching wedge.
Yeah, very much a pitching wedge style needed with that one as we have a look at that falcon again. That as Cop Dogger Brown fair on the scone. As let that replay roll through, and the Chicago kid looks like he's coming off. Shake of the head there from the ever professional Grunwald. Big fan of Everton's third best striker of this millennium is Grunwald, so good to see him have a good stint out here at a familiar ground.
Brian McBride, as we discovered, big fan of his work, and rightfully so, Funty. Rightfully so.
I'll let you be the judge of who are the two above it. As you see Kaya.
Well, Yakuba's one.
Gets dispossessed. Back into Kemp. He's got Gorry out wide, but the player coach manages to get in there. Hegarty's looking to release one of his players out on the right wing. Dogger Brown comes across to cover. That's a pretty cynical foul on Bradley Blumenthal. So Heston's out there on the wing, if that is number 9. My eyes don't deceive me.
Yeah, just came on then. I think the other striker you're referring to might have been Dennis Strakolurski.
Oh, I was going to go Victor and Ichibi, but...
Jeez, we've got a list of bang average number 9s. It's a parade of them.
The gap between Wayne Rooney and Wayne Rooney is rather dearth up there at that club, but nonetheless, that's a very interesting free kick there along the ground. Cleared very effectively from South Hobart there.
So 1-1 with 17 to play. Can either side go on and grab a winner here? It's been a pretty entertaining affair, and Hume knocking on the door here. Here is Blumenthal, who gives it back to Hegarty. Retreats all the way back there to Govan. And across to the man who opened the scoring today, Ersin Kaya. This one's chipped away. Schmidt will track back, and now Hume just using the wind that's again starting to pick up again in the last 5 minutes or so, and really pressure perhaps a tiring South Hobart side. How's the fitness of the two teams at this point, I wonder? Here's Attila the Hun. Some tidy work there. Swung it out wide. Cook tracking back well in defence. Sees it out of play.
And quick throw in back to the player coach, who's really getting some urgency into his side. Thumped that one clear off the foot of Schmidt. All kept under control, and then thumped back into the back post for Hegarty, who was a little offside, much to the groans of the crowd, even though it's a very partisan South Hobart crowd. Also just noticed we've got a Blumenthal and a Cook on the field. I know we like our cooking shows here in Australia, but this is getting a little absurd.
Yeah, that's all the nutmeg we've seen out there, and you really have got your own cooking show.
As long as it's not Nutmeg, the Asian Cup mascot, that's the Nutmeg I prefer. Connor Schmidt comes off the field after that very niche reference. And the last sub possible by South Hobart. Keenan Dwee.
Twiggy, I think he's known as, isn't he? The Twig. Keenan Dose.
Apparently Twiggy is the nickname of Keegan, which is what I'm reliably informed from.
Very reliably informed.
Very reliably informed from the Prince of Devonport. Can't quite call the esteemed gentleman to be next to me the King of Devonport, but very much in the same realm.
That title's taken, but he's the Prince.
Blair Govan looks to take this one forward in the direction of the Twig. Well taken from Alex Walter. It looks like he's taken Nick Morton's more central role rather than the wing, with the others out there. Looks to play it through to Morgan, and O'Dane DeMar does just about enough to shepherd him out of play there.
Saraceno, Edeghetto, Cook, a few new youngsters out there in the front line for South Hobart. Very different from how they started the game. Gorry plays it back to another one of those substitutes, O'Dane DeMar. Some heavy strapping on the left knee. Not uncommon. Struggled to stay on the pitch last season for Clarence DeMar, but every time he set foot on there, you could see a player with real ability. And Ken Morton was very keen to get him across here to South. He's landed his target as Saraceno. It's one of his first involvements, and he worked it to Kobe Kemp. Let to run by Cook. Just holding things up here, and now driving in the middle for Kemp. So clever with that one-touch passing, and now he fancies a chance to shoot. And just the sting taken out of the shot there by the central defender.
For a more patient build-up and that extra pass, Adam Gorry was in an acre of space on the near side here between Kemp and Twig. Could have found him. But alas, Hume City will pick it up again through Morgan. Out to Kaya. Hume also preparing two more subs in front of us, so very much a pre-season friendly vibe here, with as many players they've brought down as possible getting a run. O'Dane DeMar should clear that, and does. Good to see DeMar stay in the state. Obviously injuries and a few things at Clarence at the start of the year meant he didn't really get too much playing time till the end of the season, and could have packed up and gone to other climes, but good to see him stay here for South Hobart, as unfortunately Attila
withdrawn. Mitchell Traszewski. going to go with Trustevsky. Yeah. Look, butchering names is part of the brand here at Sausage Chase, so even if it's not so.
And for the sake of 12 minutes, I'm not going to get up any pronunciation guides on that one.
So, yeah, I think we've seen what happens in a lot of these friendlies when each team makes half a dozen substitutions. Things start to get a little bit more disjointed. Players who mightn't have played together quite as much, maybe a few in unfamiliar positions and a little bit disjointed the football at the moment. But Hume City knocking on the door, and Alex Walker still working hard. What a fantastic shift he's put in today. And as was pointed out to us at half time, he certainly has bulked up a little bit. Alex Walter, and that's going to put the fear of God into defenders down here in Tasmania as this one's worked back, and here's a great chance. Pumped away in the end by Brown. I thought he might have been able to catch it, but he gets across and deals with it.
That's probably the slick interplay that you have been after during the first 80 minutes of this game. Couldn't quite wrap his foot around it. Good Kubale, who we've seen have 2 shots on goal already from his substitute appearance. And yeah, just on Alex Walter, I know. Benjamin Hamlet, I think he might have gone to done a bit of his fitness program in the off-season as well. Bulking up very nicely.
This one's curled in. That's a great ball. Dogger Brown straight through the back there, but it's away with it. Togetto lofting it forward. Only Hume City players back there. South Hobart just hanging on here at the moment. They're under siege as this one's swung wide again. And increasingly, the coach here is getting himself involved. He's been very busy in this second half. Nick Fogarty is chance now for the centre back. Govan swings it back again, and that's a beautiful touch. And now the cross comes in and finished. That is delightful football from Hume City. What a superb goal that is. 2-1, and that's the best football move we've seen all day.
Yeah, it's that extra touch of class there from Coach Nick Hegarty. That is an absolutely delightful touch out on the wing there, and I can see why he wants to get himself more into play. Knocks it into the centre, and I still haven't actually quite seen who got that in for the goal there at the back post.
It wasn't Hegarty. Hegarty's the one who crafted it. So look on replay, a few very unfamiliar faces there, but it was a lovely finish.
And not too many particular celebrations from any Hume player either, not making it terribly obvious as we see another change for Hume with Govan coming off.
Very impressed by him, the big centre half. I think he put in a good shift. Very composed, strong character at the back. I think he and Nick Grunwald have the makings of a promising central defensive pairing for their NPL Victoria campaign.
Yeah, hard to obviously gauge against the other Victorian opposition, as we don't see a whole lot of it down here, but I mean, if that was my central defensive pairing, I'd be very happy, very confident going to any game. Height, strength, good bit of players. Alex Walter also with a good bit of play there, knocks it in, and that's almost an own goal from Hume City then. And back in. A bit of a contest there, managed to be out for a goal kick, so good defensive play there from Hume. And
a chance to look at this wonderful goal again, and his first touch, delightful, bang, knocks it in front of him, crosses there, and really from all of 3 or 4 yards out, Oliver Kubale taps it home. So lovely. So much of that goal was in the build-up though. Nick Hegarty, the player coach. Well, you would listen to a player with that skill, wouldn't you?
I would. That's a fair bit of experience in professional divisions in England, does Hegarty, and just that little extra touch of class becomes noticeable in situations like that. Kubale, number 19, will get that on the score sheet. But, I think that goal probably is a lot of Nick Hegarty's work.
Absolutely delightful stuff as he's on the ball again here. His team now in the front has fistful his shirt taken, but he plays on. Looks it to the man with 2 names, and he goes back to the ball. Hume have assumed control of this game as it's worn on. South tiring a little, and Hegarty again really coming to his own. That's another lovely little pass, and it's crossed in well away by Dogger Brown, and the chef doesn't convincingly deal with it. It's going to come right back at them through Hegarty, who rolls it there, and Brown once again clearing away the paw. And he'll just retreat back there to Gideon Sweet.
Yeah, it's one thing about pre-season friendlies. At about 60 minutes in, I was feeling pretty confident on players' names, and now I'm back to how I was feeling in the first 5 minutes. So you see that long ball in direction of Hegarty, or Trajecki, who does very nicely there. Blumenthal tries to whip it in the box. Gorry takes it off the feet. Good work there from Heston. As we tick 83 minutes. With the pre-season games, a little bit of sting going out of it. Very noticeable, the fitness difference, I think, as we predicted at the start. South Hobart playing with a lot deeper line than they were the first 60 minutes, which, as we start about a month later here in Tas, is to be expected. Now looking for the diagonal ball in the direction of Morgan, and Walter just manages to get a toe in.
Still working back in defence, Alex Walter. Yeah, he's put in a fantastic shift. Busting along out there.
And conversely, Morgan, who has been a live wire in centre midfield, still making those forward runs that Walter has to track. We'll see what Hume do from this corner with 2 of them down there. Surely they're not doing time-wasting tricks.
No, they've done this one a couple of times. Again, they go for the short routine. Dangerous ball. Guess who? Alex Walter's head across to deal with it, but they're going to have some more defending to do as it swung in dangerously. Back heel, Hegarty blocked away again.
A lot of spin on that ball, very hard for the defender to get there. Now into Kaya. Back to Morgan, who's now got Darcy Hall for company. Unfortunately, Darcy Hall hasn't got much company. There's a really obvious shirt pull there that I saw from up in the grandstand 70 yards away. And given by Stratos.
So 5 minutes to play here for South Hobart. Try and pull something back. Earn themselves a draw, but I think probably said leading into this one it was more about performance than result, and I think South Hobart would be pretty happy with how they performed in this one.
I'd certainly agree with that. There's a chance from this set piece in the direction of Dogger Brown, who managed to outmuscle his teammate and 2 Hume players. Gets it back. Unfortunately, that's not the greatest cross out there, and they'll look to break through Mitchell, who I'm going to call Mitchell from now on, because there's no way I'm doing that surname. Hegarty up against Walter. Probably both teams players of the match so far today. The Paul. He's going to look to go back to the keeper. He hits it first time, only as far as Dogger Brown in an unfamiliar role in centre mid. Manages to get nothing but the player. I'm sorry, everything of the player and 0 of the ball there, Dogger Brown. First major game of South Hobart for the season, and that's one to open the blooper reel with.
Jeez, looked like Fletcher Cox running the other quarterback there, Funch. Look at him, charging in.
Fair bit of Saxonville action there.
I missed the ball. Bang, close wire.
Yeah, that's a sack on a quarterback rather than an attempt at anything to do with the round ball code of football. That's
ludicrous from Dogger.
That's another sub for Hume City. Poor Umut Bozdugan coming on. Look, that'll do for the one time I'll pronounce his name. Kobe Kemp streaming forward, trying to find Darcy Hall. No luck there. Now out to Hegarty, who's gone the ambitious. Until there was a cross-come shot there. Well chased down from Gorry, who manages to shepherd out a very live wire Kubalai and earn the goal kick.
It was absolutely a shot too, just to make the contact he wanted. Just since Brown was a little bit off his line and thought, friendly match at this stage, why not?
Yeah, it wouldn't be the first goal from such a ludicrous distance here at South Hobart lately. We saw that last season with the near goal of the season.
Oscar Thomas, the controversy that one caused.
Yeah, the greatest social media campaign waged by Nick Rumwald of Hume.
Yeah, he got his man Sanders over the line there in the end. 2 fantastic goals. But there's still a few around these parts a little bit salty over that result, but they won everything else in 2017, so I'm sure they can cop it as Hegarty chests this one on. It's just going to run that one out of play. 88th minute. Bit an enjoyable evening here at the football at Darcy Street, Funty. I think we've learnt a little bit about both those teams ahead of their campaigns.
Yeah, very good to see interstate opposition in action, which we like down here. Obviously, in a competitive sense, we only get it once or twice a year down here. So good to see some higher level opposition from our Victorian friends. Back in action tomorrow as well against Hobart Zebras, and their mercurial coach Gabriel Marquez back in action, which I'm sure our viewers will be more than interested in.
Yeah, it'll be an entertaining one for sure. So do tune in again to the stream, or even better, come along to Darcy Street. A good forecast, and South Hobart playing against Beachside beforehand. An error at the back here from D'Amato. And a chance for Blue with just wide of the post. Couldn't quite punish Damar for his slip.
Yeah, Tamar looking around. The central defender, look, he's done everything right there. As Blumenthal. Did Brown get a little whisker on that? I'm not quite sure on the replay. Very close.
Yeah, Tough Nose was already spinning that way, but if he did, he's done very well. And even better to avoid the corner.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dogger Brown still looking for options in the 90th minute. Brown and to Damar. Not sure how those four centre-backs of South Hobart are going to go into 3 or 2 this season. It's one thing we'll be eagerly awaiting here. Dogger Brown knocks it forward. And unfortunately, just a bit of miscommunication there. And that was Isaac Togetto, who's now was playing as a nominal centre forward there. Haven't quite gone the Hail Mary Minnesota Vikings style yet of South Hobart, as we not sure how much stoppage time will be played here at Darcy Street. Well, we've got the plinth down here this season. Haven't quite managed the electronic board for today, and that's a good through ball. Dane Demar with a very sloppy back pass. Centres that back post. Cool finish there by Hume City, punishing the mistake of O'Dane Demar.
Yeah, Blumenthal gets his goal in the end. It was an error from Demar, and the substitute sticks it in the back of the net. So 3-1 with an emphasis on the final score. Really flatters them a little bit. They've been the better team as it's worn on, but Blumenthal taps that one home and makes it 3-1. I think South will be disappointed that it's unravelled for them at the end, but they've probably just tired a little bit.
Yeah, certainly have, and Blumenthal waiting at the back post for that mistake. Kubalai, who I was trying to get up, change team sheets for and couldn't quite, and that's a calm finish from Hume Chef. Alex Walter on the ball, plays a nice ball, and again, good keeping just in front of Darcy Hall.
He's had some fair physical contests Weir here today. He's been absolutely battered with a few of these crosses as referee brings this one to a close. Hume City claim a 3-1 victory. I think South Hobart won't be too disappointed with that. They played well. Perhaps the more advanced stage of pre-season, that little bit more experience in the squad sees the Victorians home, but a thoroughly enjoyable 90 minutes.
Yeah, thoroughly enjoyed the evening here at Darcy Street. Hume City, I think, as predicted, once it hit the 70th minute mark, that extra level of fitness certainly came to the fore. Both teams will be very happy for the hit out. And just a couple of little defensive mistakes from South Hobart at the end cost them the draw, but absolutely no harm in the result here today. I thought Alex Walter and especially Nick Hegarty for Hume City were absolute standouts for me. I really enjoyed watching those two go about their business. And unfortunately for South Hobart, just the news of Nick Morton's injury might just put a little bit of a dampener on the match here today, but a thoroughly enjoyable contest as we'll look at the goals once again. Great free kick here from Kaya. Brown couldn't quite get across his line, was very far across to the other side, was the young keeper.
He's walled into him any favours either there, to be fair, but they took full advantage of that breakdown. It was really just a couple of typical pre-season errors that led to some of these goals today. So we have a look at the next one. South Hobart hitting back and getting back on terms. A delightful diving header this from Alex Walter. Kobe Kemp chipping it in. How's that for a finish from Gareth Bale Walter there?
Yeah, I think at least we've got a new nickname for Alex Walter this season if he keeps that haircut up, but that is a very, very good finish. I can't say I've seen him score a diving header before in my time here at NPL Taz, which is very good. And then that touch from Nick Hegarty, absolute highlight, and just absolutely put it on a platter.
The moment of the game, that one, wasn't it?
Absolutely, for Oliver Kudalai at the back post, who, as well as having 2 shots, got on the scoreboard. So a very promising young player for Hume there. And then third one with only a minute to play, DeMar with the error, and Blumenthal at the back post. All he had to do was coolly put it in the back of the net, which he did successfully. 3-1 Hume City. I think there'll be things to improve on, but also quite content with the result. I think will be a result from Hegarty.
Yeah, it's a very enjoyable evening, and they'll be back in action again tomorrow. They take on Hobart Zebras from 5 p.m. We'll be bringing that one to you as well. And as well as beachside South Hobart 2 p.m.'s the Curtain Raiser. So if you want to get along to Darcy Street, I would encourage you to do so. Until then, it is bye for now.
Find the right words, and there's no way this is real life. There's no telling you're the right girl, so I can only say that it feels right. It feels right, it feels right. Yeah, I can only say that it feels right. It feels right, it feels right. Yeah, I can only say that it feels right.